When someone said, "Don't sweat the small stuff," they obviously didn't understand what it's like to be a highly sensitive person. We can't help sweating the small stuff. We pay attention to detail because we're wired that way. So let's look at some situations that others may pass over or not notice, but are something that can be an issue for us that can cause actual overwhelm or stress as a result of it. The first one is probably something you encounter on a regular basis, and that is simply too many open browser tabs in your browser, or too many apps running at once on your computer or your phone. Too much stuff going on in your immediate working environment. This can even go out to your actual physical desk, and too many things piled up, or too many little jobs sitting in your inbox, or anything like this. What I like to do is to do a kind of tidy up, like a digital tidy up or some kind of actual physical tidy up, at least once a day. Like, I shut my computer down at night and I close all my tabs. I start fresh. And if there's something I need to save, I put it in Evernote, which is where I keep all of my things that I want to reference later for research. But to have a certain kind of cleanliness, or that's not really the right word, there's like simplicity to my working environment, makes a huge difference. Another thing that really helps for me is to mute any kind of notifications. And in my case, I actually just don't allow notifications on my computer at all. It sounds crazy, but I would rather miss an appointment in a way than be constantly bombarded with messages interrupting me and driving me crazy. So what I do instead is I go to my calendar regularly and I check what's coming up. Oh, okay, I've got an appointment in a half hour. And then I'm thinking, for the next half hour, I'm going to work on this. And if you can keep it simple, it can cut down a lot on overwhelm when you're working. The second little trigger that can get highly sensitive people, and certainly one that gets me, is unclear or vague instructions. If you give me unclear or vague instructions, I'm going to start going crazy because I see all the different ways that I could do that, or I'm not quite sure what the intention was when the instructions were given. I can see conflicting ways of doing the same thing. There's a lot going on. And this is natural for highly sensitive people because we look deeply at anything we're given, we process deeply, and we're paying attention to outcomes on many levels, often simultaneously. And so if the instructions are not clear or conflicting or just strange, it can be stressful. And the solution is actually really simple, although it takes maybe a little bit of nerve or courage, is to simply give yourself permission to ask again, what did you mean? Could you say that a little more clearly? And a lot of times we do have the ability to do that, or the courage to do that, but sometimes we don't. And so if that is you and you feel like you're having trouble actually saying that you need more clarity, then think of creative ways of doing that. Maybe you have to go in a more private situation and ask somebody, so it's less of a shaming thing in a larger group. Or maybe maybe it's like you have a belief that's interrupting you from asking, and you may want to question the thought, like, they're going to think I'm stupid, or I should already understand, or something like that. Do a little bit of inner work and come back with a little more clarity and ability to ask. Most times people are very happy to repeat their instructions, and if they're not, then that's the next thing you have to work with. So life keeps on giving it, and why not give it a chance, because you may end up getting clarity. The third little trigger that can come up, which is not such a little thing, but it can actually cause overwhelm quite quickly, is the need to make a quick decision on the spot. Somebody says, like, I need you to decide right now. My brain freezes. I can't make that decision very quickly unless I've already am prepared for it. And so what I like to do is ask, well, hold on, can you just give me a minute? I need to think about that. This is going to take me a second. Or can you give me 10 minutes? I'd like to get back to you on that. And negotiate about the immediacy of needing the decision. It's not that you're being irresponsible. It's that your brain needs time to process. We are deep processors by nature. And to honor that, we need a little bit of time. The fourth little trigger would be having too many errands or small tasks piling up. This can really get us down as HSPs. And it's that a part of our mind is thinking about that task needs to be done, and that task needs to be done, and that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. And it's obvious how quickly that can lead to overwhelm. The solution is to do a brain dump. Like, just clear your mind, get it all out onto paper or onto a digital list, and just clear all of that out of your memory and put it onto something external. Then sort through it and prioritize the one or two things that must be done first, and then let the rest wait, one at a time. If you're multitasking, first of all, no one multitasks that well. People say they do, but it's not really the case. And when you are trying to multitask, especially as a highly sensitive person, you can, at best, divide your attention, and it's just not effective. But worse than anything, it leads to overwhelm. So you can even just hold yourself saying, okay, right now I'm focusing on this email, and just make that your focus. Or I'm focusing on clearing my inbox. Or right now I'm focusing on writing this paragraph or this chapter or whatever it is you're working on. Then move to the next item with intention. To minimize any kind of multitasking can be a huge help for anyone, especially for highly sensitive people. The fifth little trigger would be someone's feeling someone else's tension or irritation, even if it's unspoken. We pick up on these things. We're tuned into people's emotions, and it's easy to get sucked in when someone's ranting or fuming or not settled, especially if they're irritated with us, which is the hardest one to deal with. If that happens, take a breath, ground into your body if you can, and remind yourself that their emotion is not yours. And that's kind of a shortcut. The long version of this would be write down the actual stressful thoughts that you're believing. They are being, I don't want them to be angry. I want them to be calm. I need them to relax. Whatever your stressful thoughts are, write them down, kind of brain dump again, and pick one of them and go through the work of Byron Katie and question that thought. Is it true? And who would I be without that thought? And what would a turnaround be? And see if you can explore all sides of it. You may find that it helps you gain a distance between what's their business and what's your business. And their tension can be theirs. And even though you're aware of it, it doesn't have to be as overwhelming. Another one may seem minor, but it's not minor for highly sensitive people. This is number 6, minor criticism or offhand comments. These little tiny gestures or bits of speech can really affect us because we take it and then we start thinking about what it means and we go deep with it. So if that happens, again, pause and look at it. Is it really true that this comment means something bad about me? Are you sure of that? Do a little bit of the work. Question what you're believing and see if you can find another perspective that may give you a little more breathing room. Another thing that can help is journaling, just writing those stressful thoughts. But my favorite way to journal is to blurt out all your stressful thoughts, and then pick one and question it using the work of Byron Katie. Then finally, number 7, a little trigger that can get to us is getting interrupted repeatedly during a task. This one can actually cause me to blow my cork, and I'm a lot better at it than I used to be, but it is one of those things where I'm like, I'm trying to go deep, I'm trying to focus, I'm trying to get something done, and then here comes another interruption, and here comes another one, and just when I thought I was ready to go again, here comes another one. So one of the things that helps here is to just set some clear boundaries. I'm going to be working for the next 25 minutes. Can we talk after that? Or use a timer and use that to stay focused and make that a protected time. Put a sign on your door. Talk to people who tend to interrupt you and say, this is really important. I need to focus. And it's a general thing for me. I need, when I am focusing, to not be interrupted. People will learn. People respect that. And over time, you will get less interruptions. If you do get interrupted and you start getting upset, here again, you can notice the stressful thought that is there and question it. And you may find that it becomes less irritating. Like, I want them to leave me alone. They don't respect me. These things can be questioned, and you may start softening. It's still an interruption. It's still a bother. It still interrupts your flow, but it doesn't have to go above and beyond that, because what happens is the mind will escalate it, and it can turn into something that is bigger than the actual reality. It's more like, okay, I got interrupted. That did distract me. And now what? What can I do? Can I tell them, please don't interrupt, I'm working on something important? And then can I go back into doing it and just begin again? So these are just a few little things that come up in daily life. I thought I'd share them with you and some thoughts on how to play with them. There are many more, of course, but this is just a little taste of how to come back to yourself when little things annoy you.